Okay, so we're going to look at lesson 3 here. We're going to talk a little bit about data tables and procedures, both of which you're going to need to be able to do throughout this year. So data tables are going to be the most useful way to convey data from experiments and lab activities. When they're set up correctly, they allow for easy communication of the results. There's no doubt for what everything is displaying in the data table. Each column needs to be clearly labeled, and you need to use units whenever you need to. So some requirements that we're going to use as the basis for this year. You need to determine a layout that makes sense for your data, clearly label the rows and columns, and include all units in the labels, but not in the individual cells. That just gets it bogged down. So if we look at some scenario here, if we want to create a data table for the following data in this experiment to determine the effect of plant nutrients on plant growth, John set up 3 plants exposing them all the same conditions except for the nutrients. The first plant was given a determined amount of Miracle-Gro, second Botanicare, and the third was a control as it was not given any additional plant nutrients besides the soil. Measured the height of the plant every 3 days for a total of 5 measurements each, and here are all the measurements. So whenever you look at a data table, you want to try to make it so that it makes the most sense, okay? So I'm going to recommend that for this one, just as an example, we kind of try to work through this one together. So I'm going to identify the height as the dependent variable, basically based off of what we gave it. And then we're going to kind of mark based off of the days. So I'm going to kind of set up a data table that I think clearly displays the data we're given in a way that is easy to interpret. So I'm going to set up a table here. So I'm going to set up one that is about 6 or 7 down here. I'm just going to make a basis for a table. I know that you've seen data tables before, but I don't know how much you've been rating your own versus filling one in that was given to you. All right, so we're going to kind of label these here. So I'm going to make this the day. All right, so we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15 because it was every 3 days. All right, I'll kind of make spots for all of these. And then over here, I'm going to label this as the height in centimeters. And I'm going to kind of clarify this a little bit more so it makes the most sense. So I'm going to label this as Miracle-Gro. And then we're going to have a spot for that. I'm going to have a spot for Botanicare. And then I'm going to have a spot for the control. We're going to throw in our data here. So Miracle-Gro was 1, 3, 7, 8, and 11. Botanicare was 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8. Control 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So I feel like that layout there kind of sums it up pretty easily. So you can look at it and see, okay, I'm clearly looking at the height, the 3 types, and then all of their measurements based off of these days. So think about how you set up data tables this year. It's going to be really important. Also, when you write procedures in lab, they need to be very detailed, so detailed in fact that you could give it to someone else and they could repeat the whole procedure from what you've said. So in this example, we're going to work during class here for brushing your teeth. If you just say, literally brush your teeth, to play a little bit of kind of devil's advocate here, so I would ask you things like, how many times are you brushing your teeth? How are you moving the toothbrush? Is there anything on the toothbrush? Is it wet? And so forth. How long are you doing it? So just think about when you write a procedure this year, make sure it's as clear as you possibly can be.